like I've been seeing multiple videos, heard multiple podcasts lately talking about the amount of power that some of the bikes have these days. I've been hearing people talk about this more, and I think it's going to continue to become more of a discussion as bikes become more powerful. You look at what we can do in a car now and what we could do a decade ago, and people were saying the same thing a decade ago about how fast cars were. And I'm not talking just like your average car. I'm talking about exotics, the absolute fastest cars being produced. And still today, they're getting faster and faster. I remember when I was a little kid, and a sub 4 second 0 to 60 was a really fast car. And I mean, it seems like every slightly sport modified sedan does sub 4 seconds 0 to 60. Now it's sub 3 second. All the top sports cars have to be sub 3 seconds to be, you know, considered real fast, and there's tons of them. But of course, in a car you got 4 wheels. On a bike you only got 2, and only one is putting down power. What is it going to be when we have an all-wheel, a 2-wheel drive production motorcycle? I'm sure someone out there will point out some like concept or homebrewed build out there that has 2-wheel drive on a motorcycle, but in a production bike, how ridiculous would that be? It wouldn't help you at all, because you have to counteract the wheelie first and then somehow gain a little bit extra traction and propulsion from a front wheel. But that's that's not what I'm going to talk about. Like, the reason I bring that up is, you know, you kind of reach the limit of 0 to 60, you know, that initial launch. Because it's so hard for, like, the main thing against you is traction and wheelie control on a motorcycle. Of course, you look at a drag car and you got the same issues, but now I'm just going off topic. Bikes are getting more powerful. They'll continue to get more powerful to the point of, like, you can't have a wheelie bar on a like production bike. The bikes will get more powerful and more powerful, and the electronic systems will have to continue to do more and more to keep the front wheel down so that, you know, the bike doesn't buck you off. So where the power actually comes in is when you're actually up to speed, or when you're, you know, hitting the top of the higher gears. And how often are you doing that? Not very often, if ever. But still, manufacturers will continue to push the limits and make bikes faster and faster because they can, because they have to. And it's good to encourage innovation and pushing these machines as far as they can go. But that has only encouraged more and more discussion about, are bikes getting too powerful? Are they getting too fast? And I certainly don't outright agree with this sentiment. I do not necessarily think that bikes are too powerful. You know, I'm riding a 2020 S1000RR. I absolutely love the thing. It is stupid fast, but I love it. Have I wrung this thing out full throttle? Yes. So obviously, there's more power to go. But where do you draw the line? Because no line has been drawn for a car, but I don't really hear any discussion ever about if cars are getting too powerful, getting too fast. It's a marvel when Bugatti hits 250, 260, 270. Because if we're going to make an argument that bikes are getting too fast or they're getting too powerful, you probably, if you're going to draw a line, you could probably already draw a line somewhere with bikes that have already been released. Do you really need to do over 90 miles per hour ever on the street? No. Now a bike that could only do 90 miles per hour for its top speed would definitely not have the the power to be a safe vehicle in traffic, you know, for making passes and accelerating on an on-ramp. So if you wanted to limit something to as fast as it could be on the streets, then it would have to be a limiter on the bike, which they have. They have speed limiters on bikes, they have speed limiters on cars. So okay, we've established a speed limit, but what about the power? Don't know where I am, but oh, the views. You know, this bike right here, I've had it on the dyno pushing 200. The horsepower numbers that manufacturers are claiming for, you know, V4, V4R, RSV4, new R1. they're over 200 horsepower. Do you need 200 horsepower on a bike? No. Do you need it on the track? Even if you're a great rider, you look at the guys that have been doing tons and tons of track days. They're going back to smaller bikes if they're really trying to push their skill, going on a 300, a 400, maybe a 600. There are a few that are really pushing a liter bike close to its limits, so the power is not necessarily there either. Look at that, second gear, and I've gotten you guys a daily 100, but why do I need a daily 100? How about a daily 90? Just step things back. Daily safety, how about that? But again, I love my bike. I would hate it if there is some sort of limit on what this bike can do, because the power that it creates and the abilities that it has and the technology that has gone into producing this is felt everywhere. It's not just when it's being pushed to its absolute limit, but it's felt everywhere, even just casual cruising on my bike. Now, of course, I got to deal with the other people on the road and how fast they're going, which is not. Austin just went around and redid all the little lines here, like filling in cracks and stuff on the roadway. So I've been having to be real careful because they're still they're not really worn down yet, so they're still super slick. I'm sure there will come a point earlier than with a car that a bike is just so powerful that the electronics will have to do so much to prevent the bike from ruining your day that it just won't be worth it. But where is that point? Because the arguments that I've heard in videos and on the podcast that I've heard have not really sold me. And I say that and I bring this up because I'd like to hear the logic behind it, because again, if you're making the point now, you probably could have made it before with bikes that are already available. You know, my first bike, an SV650, fastest I ever went on it was like 125, and that was pretty much pushing the mile per hour limit on that bike. I think it had like somewhere around 70 horsepower, maybe 65, I don't know. It wasn't that much, but it wasn't terribly little. But the bike could still do over 120 miles per hour, and it could do probably like a 0 to 60 of under 4 seconds. You could make the argument there on the bike that I started with, that I consider one of the best starter bikes that you can get on. Even that you could say is too powerful. More power than it needs, more power than is necessary for the street. And so my question would be to the people that say that bikes are now getting more powerful with the top of line sport bikes now, where is what's the argument that a bike like the SV650, or heck, even an R6 of today, or an R6 of a decade ago, what's the argument that those bikes are not too powerful and not too fast for the street, not too fast in general? Because I'm curious what the logic behind that is, and I'd like to hear what you guys think, because it is something to think about. You know, I definitely do the majority of my riding on the street. I've done several track days. I love doing them. I wish I had the time to do more, and I like having fun with my bike on the streets. You know, I have had some of my most fun on bikes with almost no power. You know, I have a Honda Ruckus. Starting, that thing's got under 10 horsepower. Probably only has about 10 horsepower now. Maybe 15. I don't know. Should we put the Ruckus on the dyno? We should do that. I have so much fun on that thing. And one of my favorite days ever on a motorcycle was cruising around on a Grom that has the same, like 15 horsepower, if that. I don't know. It's so little that I don't even know. You don't need a lot of power to have fun on a bike. And I think it's two completely arguments. How much power do you need to have fun on a bike? Like none. And should bikes not have as much power as they have today? Is too much power not fun? Absolutely not. But there's so many different ways you could go at this discussion about power and motorcycles and what's safe, what's reasonable, what should be allowed, everything. Because it's not clear cut and dry. It's not simple. All that said, I do think it's easier to have fun on a bike with less power. You know, you see so many people as they go through their lifetime careers of riding a motorcycle go from not a lot of power to more power to tons of power, and then come back to something with a more reasonable, you know, what are we going to define as reasonable? A more reasonable amount of power, because you start looking at a lot more of the true enjoyability, function, and ease of riding on the bike. There's a dead 100. So I don't know, like, I'm sure there will come a point where even I am thinking, man, these bikes are kind of ridiculous. I mean, they already are ridiculous, but are they too ridiculous? What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. I'll hang out when this video goes live and respond to as many as I can. Check back on this thing later, see what you guys have to say. I really want to know. I'm curious. I want a discussion. I'm not necessarily arguing one way or the other. I can see it from both sides, but I want to know what you guys think. Just leave a comment down below. No, I got tons of stuff going on right now. I'm sorry, it's been a couple weeks since the last video. Whew. I wish I could tell you what's going on, but I can't. But man, it is probably the most exciting thing that's happened in the past couple of years for me, and I think you guys are going to be pretty excited about it too. If you need any last Christmas gifts, make sure you get your orders in at motonosity.com/shop. I will get those things sent out ASAP. I'll be shipping things out every single day until I can't no more. Until Christmas Day. Probably not then, because I'll be doing stuff. But so if you need some last Christmas gifts, you just want to get something for yourself, make sure you head on to motonosity.com/shop. Link is down in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you guys are not subbed already. Turn on the post notifications so you know when every single video goes live. I need you guys to go check out my Instagram. I'm going to start pushing it real hard, long and hard, and I want you guys to let me know what you guys think of all the photos that I post. So if you're not following me yet, Instagram at Motonosity. You guys have been awesome. Remember, life's better with horsepower, but maybe not too much. I don't know. You'll have to let me know. Keep life lived, y'all, and I'll see you on the next one.